There is a metal that could explode in price over the next decade, and almost nobody is talking about it. It's not gold, it's not silver. While investors argue about tech stocks, inflation, and crypto, something very real is tightening underneath the global economy. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what this metal is, why demand is exploding, and how investors position themselves without chasing hype. And here's the crazy part. This metal is literally all around you right now. Let me ask you a simple question. What do these things all have in common? AI data centers, electric vehicles, military systems, renewable energy, and the light switch on your wall. The answer is one metal, copper. Every single one of these technologies runs on copper, and right now something very unusual is happening in the copper market. Demand is starting to grow much faster than supply, and when that happens in commodities, prices can move very fast. Most investors think commodities work like technology. If demand rises, companies just produce more. Problem solved. But mining doesn't work like software. You can launch a startup in a year. But opening a new copper mine? That can take 15 to 25 years. So when demand suddenly increases, supply simply cannot catch up quickly. And that's exactly the setup we're seeing today. According to the International Copper Study Group, the copper market is expected to move into a supply deficit. That means the world will need more copper than it can produce. Some estimates suggest a shortage of around 150,000 tons, and large banks are already warning about structural deficits in the years ahead. Why? Because the world is entering a massive building phase, and one metal sits at the center of it: copper. 3 powerful global trends are driving demand for copper. 1. Artificial intelligence infrastructure. 2. Electric vehicles. 3. Rebuilding global power grids. Each of these alone would increase copper demand, but together they create a perfect storm. Let's start with artificial intelligence. AI data centers are massive facilities filled with high-performance computers, and they consume enormous amounts of electricity, which means they also require enormous amounts of copper. Copper is used in power cables, cooling systems, transformers, and electrical distribution. A traditional data center might use around 5,000 tons of copper, but new AI facilities can require up to 50,000 tons. That's 10 times more copper. And companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are building these centers everywhere. Now let's talk about electric vehicles. A traditional gasoline car uses about 20-25 kilograms of copper, but an electric vehicle, around 80 kilograms. That's roughly 3 to 4 times more copper per car. And that's before we even consider the charging infrastructure. Charging stations, grid upgrades, battery factories, all of that requires even more copper. The third factor is the global power grid. Much of the electrical infrastructure is decades old. As countries electrify, they need thousands of miles of new lines. But here's the problem: copper supply can't increase quickly. Decades of underinvestment, harder to find deposits, and a 20-year development cycle mean today's supply problems can't be fixed quickly. Commodity markets follow a pattern: breakout, institutional buying, and mining repricing. Mining companies have leverage. If copper goes up 50%, profits can triple. But there are risks. Copper can fall 30% in a year. That's why experienced investors diversify. Common ways to get exposure include ETFs, tracking mining companies or copper futures, or individual stocks. But risk management is always paramount. Gold rises on fear, silver on inflation, but copper rises when the world builds. Right now, we're building AI, EVs, and grids all at once. At the center is copper. Do you think copper is the commodity of the decade? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more market deep dives. See you in the next video.